Hello good people, good to see you once again. Leo nazungumzia step by step, pole pole venye unaweza nunua shares with any company that you want, whether it is Equity, it is Safaricom, EABO, Britam, anything that you want. All right, this is actually a part 2 of the video that I make, lakini kwa this one I explain pole pole, so make sure you watch this video to the end so that you'll be able to understand everything when it comes to shares. Unaweza nunua with as little as 3,000 and above. All right, but before we do that, as always, take 1 second. Hapo hivyo chini on your right there is a button written subscribe. All right, just hit that one button. Hapo hivyo chini on your left there is a button imechorwa kitu like this, just hit it. All right, so I know you're asking yourself that I enforce the importance of that. I can just go ahead and watch without even doing that. Guess what? You will never miss any video when I upload as far as the investment money and anything good is concerned. Utakuwa unajulisha na YouTube, hey, you know what? Good Joseph has uploaded a new video. All right, so let's get into today's business. So you want to buy shares, unataka kununua shares there, any company ambayo unataka. So the very first step that you're supposed to understand is that you need something that is called the CDS account. Na hapa hivi ndio watu wengi huwa wanakwama, because usually becomes like the hardest part of the buying shares for you to acquire the CDS account. CDS account simply means Central Depository System. It's an account that you have to have for you to be able to either sell or buy shares. All right, just like the way huwa tunaweka pesa kwa bank, the CDS account ndio huwa tunawekanga the shares. All right, and by the way, there are two ways on how you can be able to acquire the CDS account. You can either get yourself into the bank that you usually bank with, irrespective of the bank, go inquire on the CDS account. They can actually direct you on opening the CDS account, provided it's a commercial bank, or you can head over to contacting the CBK. But I heard that they kind of shifted the services about the CDS from the CBK to a certain CDS building, something of sort. All right, but anyway, you can just go to your bank and inquire that you would like to open a CDS account because you want to buy shares. As simple as that. So for you to get the CDS account, of course you need your particulars. Vitu zenye unahitaji is your ID, you need of course your KRA pin, you need a passport size, and of course you have to fill a certain form there about the CDS, and then once you do that, you just have to wait and then get your CDS. All right, there we go. Now when you have your CDS, or maybe you're outside the country, then how can you acquire the CDS? There are two ways, or rather there one major way that I can advise you get the CDS account through. You can contact the broker of your choice. I know you're asking yourself, who is a broker? A broker, you can get a legit and regulated broker by the CMA, that is the Central Capital Market Authority. All right, so you can get these brokers from the official website of the Nairobi Stock Exchange. I'll pin the official website of the Nairobi Stock Exchange, because that is exactly where you can get all the brokers. So once you get a broker of your choice, contact them, then link up and then tell them that you'd like to buy shares and you prefer them as your broker and you want them to help you open the CDS account if you live outside the country. All right, they should not charge you anything. It's usually zero cost. All right, now we've now gone through and we have already acquired the CDS account. What's the next step? The next vital step is this. Of course, the broker has to ask you, which company do you want to buy shares from? All right, and then you tell them. Let's say maybe you want to buy shares for Britam. Let's say you want to buy shares for Stanbic Bank, the Standard Chartered. Of course, you must have done what I call the research of that specific company that you want to buy shares. Ndio uko unajua hii kampuni, when does it pay, how does it pay, what are the reviews of this company, how long has it been in existence, and such kind of a thing, and the reputation of that given company. What are the prospect of expansion of this company? What does the future look like for this exact company, so that at least you don't get yourself in a company that you know it's about to go to a recession, receivership, should I say, or such kind of a thing. So it's always good to make sure that you do your own research before getting to buying a share or shares of any given company. All right, let's say you pick a certain company. So the next thing that you're supposed to ask yourself is this: how much is the price per share in that given company? All right, so the only way you can get this one, or it's not the only way, but it's one of the ways on how you can get the price per share of this given company. You go ahead to what I call the official website of the Nairobi Stock Exchange, because this NSE is like a market. Actually, it's not even like a market, it's a market for shares for the companies that have been listed there. We call them the PLC, that is the public listed companies. So once you go there, let's say you want to buy shares for Britam. All right, Then you have to look for the price of a Britam share. If you want to buy for Safaricom, you have to look for the price of a Safaricom. If you want to buy for EABO, that is African Breweries, you have to look at the price of that specific single share. All right. So after that, the law of Kenya, or the Nairobi Stock Exchange law, says that you have to buy a minimum of 100 shares of any given company of your choice. All right. So this is how you do it. Umesha identify the company that you want to buy shares. Of course, let's say it is company X, and that company X share moja yake inakuanga ni 50 bob. All right. So this is how we do it, because you are required to buy a minimum of 100. So it is 50 times 100. So you need 5,000 for you to buy shares of that, to buy the minimum number of shares for that given company. The other thing that you need to understand is that, of course, you must use a broker. You cannot be able to trade or buy or sell shares with an exemption of a broker. So a broker comes in here to facilitate that buying or selling of a given share. All right. So of course, this happens at a fee. When they were opening you a CDS account, they never charged you. But when it comes to buying or selling of shares, of course, something has to click in, all right? So this is how you do it. A broker comes in, and then he or she gets, actually when I say he or she, it's actually a company. It's not an individual, right? So they get something out of whatever you've transacted. It is usually 2%. I would recommend you get a broker that charges 2%. Usually it's 2% to 2.4%. So it's 2% or 2.4% of everything that you're buying. Let's say you decide to buy shares worth 5,000. So it is 2% of 5,000. That should be like 100 Kenyan shillings or something of close to that, around the amount of money. So it is 5,000 plus 100 for the broker. So basically, for you to buy the number of shares in that, the minimum number of shares in that given company, that we call it X. So you need 5,000 for buying shares, and then 100 for you to pay the broker for facilitating you to be able to buy shares. That's how you do it. And guess what? As simple as that, within a click of a button, you have your shares, and you can be able to trace your shares from the CDS account that you've been given. Of course, there is an app about the CDS account, so you can be able to trace how the shares are faring up. Keep on checking on the, what we call the Nairobi Stock Exchange, because that's where they tell you the today's gainers, the today's losers. You'll find those who have gained today, they are actually painted in green, and those ones that have failed, or rather should I say the losers of today, are painted in red. All right. So that is how you'll be able to trace how much the share is, pricing around as the time goes. All right. So there are two ways on how you can be able to gain or earn money with shares. I usually say, number one, it's always what I call the dividends. This is the most popular one, the dividend or cash flow. A lot of people love to call it cash flow. Cash flow is whereby you paid at the end of the year or semi-annually. Depends on the policies of that given company. There's companies which gives or pays around after 6 months. We call it the semi-annually. And there are companies that pays after 1 year. We call it the annually. So they give you money based on the number of shares that you have and the profit that company made. And of course, these things are usually made public, so you're able to tell or know exactly how much that company has made, because by the policies of Kenya, they have to declare their profit, because it's a PLC, public listed company. All right. So that is through dividends. Number two is capital gains. Basically here means like you buy low, sell high. You bought a share maybe at a 50, then the share has increased up to, let's say, 52, 53, and then you decided to kind of sell some of the shares that you have, and then you gain money out of the ayo, and you umepata hapo hivyo juu, and that's how you make money. It's as simple as that. All right. So if you've been with me from the start of this video up to this point, I just want to say thank you. If you've forgotten to subscribe, hey, take 1 second, click that subscription button hapo hivyo, then hapo hivyo chini on your left there is a button kamechora just like this. Just hit it. It is free, it is fast, doesn't cost anything. All right. So anyway, let me just recap what you need. First of all, I said you need a CDS account for you to be able to buy shares. How can you get a CDS account? I said two ways. Either if you're in Kenya, you can go ahead to the bank that usually a bank with the it must be a commercial bank, of course. You go there, inquire on opening the CDS account. Of course, they will handhold you, because you are a customer, to show you on how you can be able to open a CDS account. Or you can use your broker to go ahead and open the CDS account if you're outside the country, or even if you're inside the, or rather within the country, but you are busy or something. Also, you can contact them. They open you a CDS account. You got to wait. You get your CDS account. The next step: identify the company you want to buy shares from. Both its performance, its existence, and how they pay and when they pay, the reviews of that company. And how much is per share of that given company. And of course, you know, by the back of your head, you have to buy a minimum of 100 shares of any company you want. Then after that, you have to calculate the broker's fee, which ranges from 2% to 2.4%. Then total up, you buy your shares, and then you monitor your shares from the CDS account up from wherever you are in the world, and you can be able to make money out of it. And I say there are two ways on how you can be able to make money with shares. Number one is capital, or rather dividends, usually called the cash flow, and the second one is capital gains. Simply means buy low, sell high, and then you get your cash. It's as simple as that. Why don't you grab that opportunity, especially if you're young? Let's say you're at your late 20s or early 20s. If you just have your like 3Gs, go ahead and do something about it. You never know. After 10 years, 15 years, you never know. You might be one of the biggest, members of that given company, and decision cannot be made if you're not present. That's how you become influenced after some years, because at the end of the day, time will come and it will pass, and 10 years will come and you'll be like, wow, I wish I knew that. You know what, this is a Good Joseph channel where I talk about good things as far as the money is concerned. If this is the first time you've seen this first, my name is Joseph. Talk about investment, talk about money, and anything related to your cash, right? So I always say, don't devour everything. Put it aside, invest somewhere. The issue here is not saving, but investing. That's the most important thing. And if that's cup of your coffee, then consider this place home by subscribing, liking this video, comment down below, share it if you're in the position to. And as of now, what can I say? If you would like more information about shares, I have a booklet about it. It has everything that you need to know. That booklet's only $220. I have another booklet about business ideas, business plans, circles, treasury bids, treasury bonds, blah blah blah, name them. All right, so I will leave my number on the description of this video. You get it, contact me on WhatsApp, you get your copy. But for now, what can I say apart from thank you and see you in the next one.